In the last section, we ran into the same issue that we ran into previously on this application. So we need to fix the context or the value of this inside of the onSearchSubmit callback by binding it, by assigning it as a arrow function to the onSearchSubmit property right here inside the app class, or by wrapping the callback down here inside of an arrow function. Now, before I do any of those, I'm going to remove this little silly prop I added in there, like so. And then I'm going to put this back on a single line. There we go. And then one last thing I'll do is I'll remove the console log of this, because after we fix this issue, we're not going to need to know what the value of this is inside there. We'll know it's just fine. Okay, so to fix the context of this inside this function, we're going to do the same thing that we did back inside of the search bar. We're going to turn that function into an arrow function and then assign it to whatever our function or our method name is. Now this time around, it's going to be just slightly more different because we have to include the async keyword in here. I'm going to first begin by removing the async keyword, just because it's going to be a little bit easier to do this refactor without it in its way. And then I'm going to turn this thing into an arrow function just as we did previously. So I will say onSearchSubmit equals the argument term, and then I'll put my arrow right after it. And now to get the async keyword back in here, because if we don't include the async keyword, this await is going to throw an error right there. I'm going to find right before that argument list, and I'll put in the async keyword like so. So that right there is how we define a arrow function, mark it as async, and assign it to a instance property. All right, so now we should be able to save this. I'll flip back over. Refresh already kicked in, so I could put my search term right in here. I'll say cars, and you'll see found 10 images. Perfect. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That is data fetching inside of a React application. Now, what we have here definitely works, but there's a little bit of code cleanup that we can do around the Axios code that you see right here. So we're going to take a quick pause right now. When we come back to the next section, we're going to clean up this Axios stuff just a little bit to avoid our app component from having so much configuration related stuff inside of it. So quick pause, and I'll see you in just a minute.